Imagine walking through the vast landscapes of the Caucasus Mountains, where the echoes of an ancient past still linger in the air. Here, in the region of Dmanisi, Georgia, archaeologists uncovered something astonishing: skulls and skeletal remains of an early human species. A discovery that would shake the very foundations of our understanding of human evolution. This species was named Homo Georgicus, a hominin that lived approximately 1.8 million years ago. But who were they? How did they live? And most intriguingly, do they represent a missing link in human evolution or a path that led to an evolutionary dead end? Stick with me, because the story of Homo Georgicus is one of the most puzzling and fascinating in paleoanthropology. In 1991, a team of Georgian and international archaeologists began excavating in Dmanisi. What they found was beyond anything they had anticipated. Not just stone tools, but actual skeletal remains of early humans. Over the next decade, multiple skulls and jaw bones were unearthed, dating back to nearly 1.8 million years ago, making them some of the oldest hominin remains found outside Africa. One of the most famous discoveries was Skull 5, an almost perfectly preserved cranium that revealed a mix of primitive and advanced traits. It had a small brain, around 546 cubic centimeters, about half the size of a modern human brain, but a surprisingly human-like face. This raised a critical question. Were these individuals truly a distinct species, or simply an early form of Homo erectus? The answer remains hotly debated to this day. But what makes this discovery even more shocking is the implications it has for our understanding of human migration and evolution. Before Dmanisi, most scientists believed that early hominins only left Africa after they had evolved larger brains and more sophisticated tools. Homo Georgicus challenges that assumption. If they were capable of surviving in the challenging environment of prehistoric Eurasia with such small brains and relatively simple tools, what does that say about the adaptability of early humans? Could other, even earlier migrations out of Africa have taken place, only to be lost to time? As researchers dug deeper, they found more evidence that Homo Georgicus was unlike anything they had encountered before. The variation in the skulls, the unexpected mix of traits, and the signs of social cooperation all pointed to a species that defied easy classification. The more they discovered, the more questions emerged. Were these individuals direct ancestors of later humans, or an isolated branch of evolution that ended in extinction? The more we learn, the more complex our family tree appears to be. Unlike later human species, Homo Georgicus displayed a mix of characteristics that seemed to place them at an evolutionary crossroads. Their small brain suggested a primitive status, but their ability to use tools and hunt indicated advanced survival skills. Fossil evidence suggests they lived in small groups and had social behaviors that helped them endure harsh environments. The tools found at Dmanisi were simple but effective, Oldowan-style tools, similar to those used by early Homo Habilis in Africa. This suggests that Homo Georgicus was capable of manufacturing and using tools, a key step in human evolution. But were these individuals the true pioneers of human migration, or merely a failed experiment in survival? Interestingly, some of the fossils show signs of severe injuries and even tooth loss in older individuals, yet they survived long enough for these wounds to heal. What does this mean? It suggests that these early humans had some form of social care. Perhaps family members or group members helped them survive despite their injuries. This level of cooperation is something we associate with later hominins and even modern humans. But here it is, present in a species with a brain no larger than a chimpanzee's. What's even more perplexing is their body structure. They had short but powerful limbs, suggesting they were adapted for endurance walking rather than running. This challenges the idea that long-distance running was a crucial trait that led to human success. Instead, Homo Georgicus may have relied on persistence hunting, tracking prey over long distances and exhausting them before making a final attack. This would mean that despite their small brains, they had advanced problem-solving abilities, an essential trait in human evolution. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding Homo Georgicus is how they managed to leave Africa so early. Until their discovery, scientists believed that only later, more advanced hominins, like Homo Erectus, had ventured beyond Africa. But the Dmanisi fossils suggest otherwise. Some theories propose that early human ancestors left Africa in multiple waves, with Homo Georgicus representing an earlier migration than previously thought. If true, this would rewrite the timeline of human migration. But was their journey successful? Did they give rise to later populations, or did their lineage vanish without a trace? Consider the challenges they would have faced: extreme climate fluctuations, dangerous predators, and competition with other species. How did they manage to adapt? Could it be that their migration was driven by necessity, perhaps escaping droughts or dwindling food supplies in Africa? If so, their story mirrors the migrations of later humans, showing that the urge to explore and adapt is deeply ingrained in our evolutionary past. But perhaps the biggest question remains: if Homo Georgicus made it out of Africa, did others follow? If so, did they interact with other hominin species? Could they have interbred with later populations, leaving behind a genetic legacy that we have yet to discover? DNA analysis may one day provide an answer, but for now, we can only speculate. This is where the story of Homo Georgicus takes another twist. While some researchers argue that they were an early offshoot of Homo erectus, others believe they were a separate species altogether. The problem? Their skulls show a high degree of variation, some looking more primitive, others more advanced. One controversial theory suggests that instead of being a distinct species, Homo Georgicus might actually be early representatives of Homo erectus, displaying natural variation within a single population. If true, this would mean that human evolution was far more complex than previously thought, with different populations interbreeding and evolving in parallel rather than in a strictly linear progression. If Homo Georgicus was indeed an evolutionary dead end, what led to their disappearance? Did they succumb to competition with more advanced hominins? Or did environmental changes wipe them out? Or perhaps their genes live on in ways we have yet to detect? The story of Homo Georgicus forces us to rethink human evolution. Were our ancestors a single species, slowly evolving? Or was our past filled with many different human species, some of which disappeared while others thrived? The Dmanisi fossils suggest a world where multiple human-like species coexisted, challenging the traditional tree model of human evolution and replacing it with something far more complex, more like a braided stream than a straight line. So, were they our distant ancestors, or just a side branch of evolution that disappeared? The mystery remains unsolved, but one thing is certain: the story of Homo Georgicus is far from over. If you've made it this far, you're one of the curious few exploring the depths of our history. But did you know that 99% of our viewers aren't subscribed? If you enjoy deep dives into our ancient past, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next discovery. Let's uncover history together.